Hey everyone, welcome to the Urban Robot Cat Podcast. I'm your host, Travis Likens.
I'm Chris RWK.
And I'm Cory from Strange Cat Toys.
And we're here for episode 63, which is almost exactly 365 days after we promised you another episode. We are now live on both YouTube and Instagram. So now you have a couple of options to watch the video. So no longer just relegated to the Apple iTunes, but you will be able to get it there tomorrow if you're wanting to listen to it in your car or something like that. But for the people that want to hang out with us and chat and talk, we are now live in two places. So the question is, Chris, what have you been up to since the last time we talked to you?
Should we just narrow it down to a time frame, because a year has been a little busy.
Well, big thing. Last time we were on this podcast, we were talking about the pre-order for your robot. It's out now. A bunch of colorways have come out. It's been available. Fans seem to really love it. It's awesome that we made it happen and people seem to like it.
Oh yeah. Dude, I get comments on it all the time. Just the other day, Sharpie stopped by so I could sign a couple of them for him. So that was pretty cool. So I was able to sign 2 for him. It's that is definitely the best representation of the robot. I'm just definitely happy.
I actually have a sample on my desk still. So
there you go.
It's been there for 365 days. It hasn't moved off the
We're
desk.
down to 15 left of the bones. If anybody wants
15
to
of the
one.
bones, and then they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
This is the 15-inch version. I'm going to venture to say that this will be the biggest one that isn't more custom or one-off.
Yeah, to appear
anytime soon. So
yeah, But other than that, I've just been gearing up for my solo show in Italy with exclusive urban art that opens February 4th over in Italy in Rome. I will be in attendance, so if anybody's over in Rome, come on by, hang out, say hello. If you want me to sign anything, I'll be happy to sign stuff. And then I'll be in town. I'll be over there for a little bit, checking out the area and whatnot. I've never been there.
If you get offered wine, are you going to decline? Because I think it's considered rude.
I will decline.
It's been a long time since I've been in Rome. You gotta get a blood orange. They're real big on blood oranges. I remember that from when I was there.
Yeah, so one of my best friends growing up, he was from Rome. He moved here in the 4th grade, so his family was from there, and they would have the blood orange everything. Everything was flavored blood orange stuff. The little tiny bottle, the little tiny cans of Coke that had the peel back top, not the pop top.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm interested. I'm looking forward to seeing that stuff again. It's been years.
So the coolest part about our current live stream is that you can watch Chris work. So
yeah,
if you've ever dreamed of watching Chris working and you ever wondered what he was doing while he was on the podcast before, you can now see.
The guys don't yell at me like Rob used to when I used to make stickers, and they'd yell at me for the markers.
This is like the so what you can do is, if you buy this painting, you can go back and screenshot our show, or you could record it, and you would have the ultimate proof that this is the authentic piece that was painted during the Urban Robot Cat podcast episode 63. He will add that to the certificate of authenticity.
Yeah, you can make an NFT of it. There you go.
Yeah.
So Cory, what have you been up to in the last year besides I don't know, everything?
Well, in the last 2 minutes, I'm trying to figure out why I can't share the live on Instagram, but I can share it to Threads, whatever.
I have no idea. This is the first time. We actually were 3 minutes late starting the show because we realized that you could add Instagram live, and it apparently is working because I got a notification that we went live. So
yeah, Rob's over here making fun of you on Instagram, Chris.
Oh, is he?
Wait, so the comments from YouTube don't come, or the comments from Instagram don't come over to the StreamYard. No, interesting.
Yeah.
Well,
I'll leave it open and I'll keep an eye on.
So you keep an eye on those comments. So Cory, what have you been doing? Besides, I mean, you were just a decon. There's a big one, right?
Yeah. That was the most recent thing, was decon. Decon was smaller than usual, but fun and pretty much what I expected, considering it was, a week or so before Christmas.
Yeah. What was the coolest thing you saw there that wasn't at your booth?
Like stuff I bought?
I mean, just like what you saw. It could just be like a really cool booth build out. I don't know. Like, what was the coolest thing there? What did I miss?
To beat the giant Darrow bear that Jermaine brings. That was pretty cool.
I saw a picture of that. It looked really good. So this is the only decon that I have not been to since 2011.
Yeah,
I was that actually happened. Obviously, 2020 didn't happen, but
yeah. I was super bummed that my normal entourage was not with me, which is usually you, Chris, and Prime. So
yeah,
I went solo, and
it was a hard decision not to go. As far as like, man, I really wanted to be there. Just the timing of the year, and the timing of the year really was it. I mean, I made it hard for a lot of people out there.
I mean, if there was one to miss, this was the one. This or that one that was right after COVID it wasn't as bad as that, but it was somewhat similar.
People are also agreeing they're bummed they missed decon in the comments. So
yeah, you didn't miss a ton, and there were people out there muling, helping people out, so that was nice. I got to meet a lot of people from the Discord, which is always, I feel like, the best part.
Makes you feel famous for a second, doesn't it?
The line around the block makes them feel famous.
We didn't have that really this year.
You didn't bring as much stuff, right?
Yeah, no, I brought very few things. It was fun watching Arctic Fox run all around decon, and then you'd see like hordes of people, because she would do these like release drops in like random locations. It was almost like you had to figure out the clues or something on Instagram. So that was interesting to watch people scramble everywhere to try to get her pieces.
Oh, that's cool.
There were some people that were upset because it was confusing, I think, sometimes, but you can't please everybody, and she did what she could to try to eliminate flippers.
Yeah. That's all you can do is make an attempt, right? There's always going to be some, but you do your best to try to make sure it's getting to the right people.
I talked to Vin from One Little Planet, and he was telling me what they do at the Asian shows. Like for his stuff is people have to wait in a line, usually like an hour or so. You go up to an iPad. Hey, shut up over there. You press the button and it generates a random image of one of the toys for sale, and that's the one you can buy. And if you don't want it, you got to get back in line. So I thought, hey, why not do that? So she liked that idea, so she might try that. I told some fans and they weren't really into that, but it seems pretty fair to me.
Sounds interesting.
It's almost like a slot machine at that point.
Right. You get what you get. You don't throw a fit.
Don't get upset.
So what else?
But no, we
besides decon
we worked with a lot of new people over the past year. Evil Ghosty, I love Matt, such a nice guy. I was really happy to work with him. We released the first colorway. There's, I think, like 20 left. They're almost gone. And so I think we're going to drop the next one towards the end of this month. We had the Penguin with Chris, which has gone very well. I think the next one we're doing around Valentine's. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. Sounds right.
What else?
Chris, I'm painting. I don't have time to answer.
No. Listen. I'm happy with anything. Cory says
I noticed that did we switch to a different painting, or did I miss that? Or did you just?
It's a different one.
Okay.
Gave him a yellow shirt.
Okay, so if you buy this one, guys, it's a different point. You'll have to timestamp the video.
Yeah, we're working. My attention span, there'll be multiple pieces worked on tonight. So
we're working with Fawnwood on a new toy, Oracle. This is prototype, unfinished. So this will be coming out. the OG black one, I think in like 2 months.
Nice.
What else?
The other figure was kind of one of the breakout figures of last year, right? Or
the Gem Pod.
I guess it was last fall, right? Because you released it last fall, but then brought it. Well, when I say last fall, I mean like 2022.
Yeah.
Question about the. Okay, there you go.
Yep. Yeah, it's resin. Most of the stuff we're making this year is in resin, just because we can make them in lower quantities. They cost a little bit more, like retail wise, but people seem to like the smaller runs, so we're kind of shifted towards that. This is one we're working on with Sad Salesman, which is almost done. This one's resin as well.
Froggy. It's a little froggy.
Yes, a little frog. So these will be coming out. What else? Show this one. This one's vinyl. This is with Rato Kim. So we're doing almost like a box animal series. We're doing a bunny and a bear to start with.
Is it going to be blind box, or is that going to be like you're going to know what you got?
Nope. No, not blind box, just regular stuff. I had asked her initially about blind box, but she was still in the middle of a contract with another company for blind boxes, so we couldn't go that route, which is fine. What else? There's new Bobbies coming. We're doing stuff with the bots and the Lostlings. A lot of new artists working with this year.
What about the Arlo?
Like my
I don't have the Arlo here. So, the Arlo's.
They look
Arlo
great.
Was a big hit at DCon. Prime sent me his sample that I had shipped to him, and I promised I would keep it very safe because he was very worried about it. But yeah, if we would have had Arlo at DCon, I think we would have sold out with the amount of people that were asking about it.
Yeah, the promo pictures look great.
Hey,
yeah,
Jose.
and it was.
Thanks for shouting us out there.
Hey, Jose. It was Prime's idea to do like the partial painted, partial clear resin. I told him to just do it all on clear resin, but it looks great. I'm glad we went that route.
I think clears are kind of like glow in the dark. I've never been a fan of just glow in the dark toy, like a toy that's like all glow in the dark. I like when you use the paint to create an effect with the glow. And I think clears are kind of the same way. I think that's what Arlo in that sample really did really well, is that mix of clear with the paint. So you don't lose any of the details, but you still get the cool factor of the clear.
Yep, I agree.
So I think when you mix things like that, you can really tell a different picture and make a cooler, more well thought out piece. So I like how he did that.
Yeah, we're pretty stoked with how it came out. So that purple one, I think, probably releasing in February or March.
Nice.
That's pretty much been my year. Lots of new people that I'm working with. It's been great.
Nice.
And how about you, Travis?
It was an interesting year for UBD as far as just trying to continue to do cool new things, but rethink kind of how we were doing things. We kind of had a big, massive expansion throughout the past couple of years leading up to last year. And, as the market kind of changed, we had to pivot and kind of get back to what we really did, which was creating cool pieces in the marketplace and putting our own spin on it and really kind of, just continuing to push the limits of what can be done. Chris's robot was kind of the beginning of that. And Rhonda Rabbit with Creepy Gals was another great example of that. But you're going to kind of see from UBD over the next, 12 months or so, more pushing the limits of what can be done within the medium, whether that's vinyl or resin, but also creating more events and more things that we can help bring this to our Dayton community here. And then other places when we set up at conventions and things like that, just doing more stuff you got to be there for. Like people, I want to create more effective, man, I feel like I missed out on this. If I'm going to not sell you something online, I want to do a better job of making cool reasons for you to be somewhere. So at our warehouse last year, we opened up, had our first art show at the warehouse. We did 2 of them actually, and they were great successes. We had great turnouts for both of them. In the local
I
area,
saw it looked like a lot of people came out.
Yeah, and the local area was like kind of clamoring. It was almost like people were like, "I can't believe this is here," because we've always existed kind of on the internet, and we have our little building that we operate out of, but nobody ever comes there except for me, right? So like, it was cool to open it up and see the local area kind of embrace what we were doing. So we're going to continue to do more of that throughout this year. You'll see some cool events coming along. I'm still planning with some of them and most of them, but there are going to be cool events we're going to do throughout the year, and all it kind of build on what we started last year and kind of continue that through 2024. And really excited about that, and really excited to continue to keep doing what we're doing and putting our UVD spin on everything, but at the same time providing people with more awesome stuff. Because that is the ultimate goal. And, we have our way of doing it. And I just want to get back to really pushing things like I used to, versus just trying to make more and more. I want to make more and more, but I want to make it even cooler. So that's kind of the goals for 2024. And that's what I learned through 2023 is that, if I have to be super passionate about it and I have to put my own thumbprint on it, and if I'm not doing that, why am I doing it? So that's what I'm kind of getting back to through 2023 and then into 2024. So kind of had some projects that I put on the shelf, and then some projects, created some new ones. But we got some really cool stuff coming with people like Chris, Blake, Jones, JC Rivera. Let's see. We got some stuff from Studio Nez. We got some Bird Milk stuff. There's some really cool stuff we're working on. So excited for.
You got any samples you can show?
Well, I have one sample that I didn't clear to show, but Chris and I are getting ready to release a pre-order for something. My blur is kind of messing it up. We don't have a date yet. It will be this month.
That thing is massive.
It's a resin piece. It's a little over 11 inches long from like shadow tip to shadow tip. But it weighs a ton. I can tell you that. And, but it's more of an art piece, right? So a lot of people would be expecting us to be like, let's double down and do another robot. We might be doing that.
Is that going to be like an assembly required, or does that flower come out of there?
Yeah, the flower comes out, and then it's a little harder. So I'm not going to try to do that with one hand here. But this piece also comes out, and it's magnetized.
Good.
So
I was like, those are going to break in shipping.
But it's going to come in a nice foam packaging and everything. It's going to be more of a like a standalone art piece. It's not going to be necessarily a toy. So hopefully this is something that it's an art multiple sculpture, right? And it's going to be a high quality resin and everything like that. And it's going to be limited edition based on the pre-order that we do. And if you want it, you're going to have to get it. So that's all that this blur.
Chuck Jones likes it. Chuck Jones on Instagram says that's dope.
Well, Chuck Jones, when we get make sure to follow UBD Toys or Chris RWK, or sign up for my newsletter, and you'll have the release details. Isn't that flower just great by itself, though?
Rob also says nice.
Just so fun.
Yeah, they did a really great job. As always, you put together the perfect execution of it, and I'm definitely excited for people to see the different ideas we have with the releases of it.
Yeah.
And I do.
Chris comes to me with like ideas, and he's like, "Do this," and I'm like, "I don't think we can do that." And then I always try to figure out how to do it.
Yeah, I was there. I wait about 48 hours, and then I get a text message saying that.
Okay, I got it.
Hey, listen, you thought I was crazy with the magnet, with the interchangeable pieces in the chest, and then what happened? We wound up selling almost 400 of them.
Yeah, so, nobody's made a magnet cooler than that.
Definitely not.
But no, the magnet's a great example of continuing to kind of push the envelope and do things people haven't seen, and that's the kind of stuff I want to keep making. That's my goal, is to make something that people are like, wow, I've never seen that. So we're going to keep pushing the envelope, and if people keep bringing me crazy challenges, that's kind of what I want to do. And you happen to be somebody on here that pre-ordered the JC Rivera Chunky Boy vinyl figure that should be arriving to me in the next week or so, and then I'll get them shipped out like immediately after that. But thanks to all the fans that pre-ordered that, because the response was amazing. And is another good example of making something that we made. We tried to push the envelope on as the resin. It kind of turned into a bit of a disaster as far as shipping, because it was low run hand painted stuff. And we pivoted, and we're coming up with a new design that doesn't take away from the ones that people bought with resin, because they were much larger and hand painted and all that kind of stuff. But now we have a vinyl option that's a little more affordable and people can get. There will be some more colorways of that. So if you didn't pre-order the original one, there will be a few extra of those available, but there will be some other colorways to collect. And they all look really, really good. So I'm excited to get more of those out there. And then the 4-foot Sexy Ronald vinyls will be arriving in the next couple of weeks
4
too.
foot. Holy shit.
So that's another one of those, like, Travis, I'm going to make a 4-foot vinyl figure. Okay, here we go. So we did it, and we will be unleashing either something that people really, really want or people really, really hate. I don't think there's any in between on the 4-foot version of that figure. So, but I do at some point, I'm going to put one in my Tahoe, and I'm going to go to a McDonald's, and I'm going to post up out front and take a bunch of photos with it and see if I get kicked out of the McDonald's parking lot or not.
Yeah, they'll probably like it.
So, because you remember, like, they used to have those, like, Ronald's, like the benches and stuff, like,
yeah, with the folded leg, and you could sit on its lap. Creepy.
Yeah, it's going to go viral, right? Like, if I get that photo out, right? Like, especially with Lizard Skull's, like, growth on Instagram of late, like, if he posts it up somehow, I think it'll go viral.
You got to drive over to Cosmos or whatever it is, and jump
in Chicago.
Yeah.
When's the next pop-up show?
So I want to do one in March, but I need to actually get it together. So in typical,
do you know what it's going to be around, or?
So I'm going to do a combination show. I'm probably going to do some customs. I'm not going to say what platform it's on yet, but probably going to do some customs. And then also I'm going to try to engage the local community a little more, and bring in some locals to do 2D art pieces, and maybe some 3D pieces for people like my neighbor at my studio that does the most amazing glass work. But do some local people to hopefully grow our footprint locally, so that it'll help get more eyes on stuff throughout the year, so that we can increase the foot traffic even more as we continue to have more shows. So it's going to be kind of
throw out a suggestion
on not having local people. No, just kidding.
No.
What's the suggestion?
You ever think about doing like a group show on vinyl records, since it would kind of like go with your branding?
So about 10 years ago at this point, we did the show that was based on covers. People did 12 by 12 paintings, but we have never done the like actual vinyl records, but that would be cool.
Yeah, I think that would be cool.
Yeah. So kind of the way my gallery or my space is able to be utilized. If I'm going to do a custom show, I almost need something also that's 2D, just to make sure I fill the space fully. And I kind of learned that with my second show that I did. So that's why I'm going to kind of try to tag team some shows when I'm going to do custom shows. So
nice.
But yeah. So after 1 year of not being on this podcast, what topics have we not talked about that we want to talk about? I think one of the interesting ones and how it affects is that's come up over the last year that we haven't really made comments on is like AI artwork and what's going on with all that stuff. So Chris, I don't know if you've seen all the news about this massive list of artists that were incorporated in that AI program. I did some digging on there. I noticed that you are not on the list, a number of people are on that. A number of people we know work with, our peers. They are on the perspective add-ons. I don't fully understand the difference between these were actually used and these were going to get added. Did they get added? I don't know that whole thing. But it was interesting to see some of the names, and some of the names that were there and some of the names that weren't, just because I guess even one of them is like a 7-year-old girl or something like that based on a news story I was reading. So it's interesting to see why they selected and who they selected. That and the subsequent court case that's going on along with this, and kind of the impact that decision is going to have, right? So like if they come back and say, well, yeah, since they didn't take your artwork, they just used it as reference. Sorry, too bad, so sad. Or if they're going to actually be like, you can't do this and you got to pay royalties to these people or something. It's a major decision. So like as artists or as people that are involved in the art scene, it's definitely something to be aware of and watching, even if you're not on the list, right?
Yeah, whatever.
I was going to say, but Chris, what do you think? But now we got
you got to think back. You got to think back to like before, the Bismarcky court case, and how sampling was just an element to music. It took. Well, you got to figure what year did that come about. Was like what is it, the mid to late 80s.
Yep.
And you had sampling and all that stuff happening for probably about 10 years prior to that.
Yep.
So the question is this something that's going to get stopped right away? Is it something that is going to just linger around? Is it something that's really going to make a difference? The thing with the AI art, I mean, like for example, right now, if I went to the mall near my house, there's literally a stand that has basically printouts of cause pieces and Supreme stuff and everything like that. If you're buying that, you know what you're buying. You're not. You have to know that you're not buying an original.
Except for
And
the old ladies that go there, right?
Yeah,
Buy for their grandkid or
for the
something.
grandkids. Yeah, I got you a real cause.
Yeah.
No, but it's a real weird dicey situation, because there's gonna always be people who are going to defend it, saying it's just another outlet, just another medium. You're going to have people that saying it's ripping off everything. There's going to be a million sides to this. The main thing is going to be that lawsuit. Like once the lawsuit gets passed and or rejected or whatever, that's really what's going to kind of deem, I think, a lot of this.
Yeah.
Because I mean, right now you have a million AI images on social media everywhere.
Yep.
And it's never going to stop. I mean,
Yeah.
it is what it is. I mean, the real thing is that the artists and the soul of the artist that's in the work is really what matters. And when you're buying from a gallery, when you're buying from stores like Strange Cat, when you're buying from places that are valid places, that's what makes a big difference to it too.
Yeah.
If you think about like NFTs even, and how like it was such a huge buzz, then here we are a couple of years later. How many gallery spaces really show and sell NFTs? How many? It's nothing what everybody thought it was gonna be. So
Yep. Yeah, it's just kind of went and passed, right? May come back at some point, may not, who knows? But right now it just seems like the NFT world is much more back to the like people that love it are doing it, and people that want to support it are doing it.
Right.
But people that were kind of in there thinking they were going to convert their artwork to NFTs and get rich, most of those people have moved on at this point, I think. So,
yep.
But the court case, like you said, is kind of the big thing. It's like, let's see what happens with that. As far as, do I think it's going to replace artists? No. Do I think some places will probably use it to not have to pay for an artist? Yes. Do I think the people that really want to support artists will keep buying original art and stuff like that? Yes. it just, like you said, it kind of blurs the line. It goes back to the similar things of like sampling, to the point where like sample culture, it's to a point where basically 90% of what you hear on pop radio probably is sampled in some way at this point. But it's sampled to the point you can't even tell the original piece of it a lot of times, right? You're like, wait, that was sampled, like kind of a thing. But they are. Another interesting element of these things are like a few years back, advertising agencies and everything using artwork, not paying or not getting clearance, and then putting it into like a Mercedes commercial or whatever. All of that changed, and then a lot of artists are getting paid out of that, which is great. But like, where's the line, right? At what point is at what point does the artist lose this? Again, back to the AI, back to the sampling, back to everything. At what point is it no longer the original artwork? And I don't know where that line is, but it's kind of interesting to see, and these court cases are what kind of determine that, right? So it's definitely something to watch. If you're an artist, or if you're a person that wants to make AI art, it's definitely a place to watch. I definitely think at like Comic-Cons and stuff like that, we're going to see like AI generated, Wolverine paintings.
Banner, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, I saw it at New York Comic-Con this year. I mean, you could tell, you could see it, and it's just, it's sad, because it literally is. Because the problem is with a lot of it, it's not even an artist that's producing it. It's just a guy basically putting in parameters, and boom, print. Now let me sell an 11 by 14 for $15. $20, which then really screws artists, because now, if you're a kid, or a person who doesn't want to spend a lot of money at a convention, you can turn around, go to this guy's booth, and buy 5 pieces for $100, and here's schmuck like me with a hand painted piece being like, no, that's
$500, please. I definitely think AI has its place. I don't think it's in creating, at least like art and all that kind of stuff at this point.
It's probably a good tool for like, people that are making small videos or small things for their own personal use, or for social media, but like for sale, it's probably not a good idea. I think the people that are going to be the most affected are those people that went and got art degrees to go like make art for like TJ Maxx and Target and shit like that.
Yeah, graphic designers and things like that.
Those people are the ones that'll get, I think, mostly replaced with it.
Yeah, because I mean, I think AI has its place. And AI is a very broad term, right? So you could be talking from anything from like military capabilities all the way to photo editing apps. But I think AI has its place. I think it's a question of how we use it. I definitely know from a personal, I'm sick of like, let's make Bing Crosby sing the thong song. I'm sick of that stuff on Instagram. So like whatever AI's purpose is, to me, it's not that anymore. Like, can we stop doing that?
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Although I'll take any Danny DeVito ones they make, because those would be great.
The punk, like at a hardcore show.
Yeah, Danny DeVito was a hardcore singer. It was like one of the best things I've ever seen in my life.
So, but yeah, so it's just one of those things. I think AI has its place. I don't think it's in creating great original artwork, but in fairness, I guess maybe I shouldn't say this, but in fairness, like, I don't know that everybody prior to, I think the people that it replaces are people that aren't like gallery artists for the most part. The people that want to buy gallery art are still going to buy it, right?
Right.
But the people that wanted to make a background in their their ad that's in Cosmopolitan might choose to use AI generated background versus paying somebody to do it, right?
Well, yeah, and then there also are going to be AI artists who actually put in work and stuff like that. It's kind of like the
it's a tool, right? So people could figure out a way to use the tool in a cool way.
Yeah,
Right.
it's kind of like websites. You know, you used to have to know code and be able to like fine tune a website. Now everything's plug and play. So like that's kind of like I think the two spectrums of the AI creators. You know,
Well, a
like
great
the people
example
who
a great example is the AI that we all three of us love to use. Is a photo editing app that deletes the background for you.
Yeah.
Right. We love to use that because it's so much easier than going into Photoshop and doing it, or whatever. That's AI, right?
I,
Those
I don't
nice
know.
AI generated backgrounds.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I do all by hand. It's all by hand. I break out
You're
my
on
Frisket
400 zoom in
tape.
Photoshop.
Yeah.
But I
I
mean,
break.
for a long time, I didn't even have Photoshop, so I did that manually in Mac Preview. I mean, it's embarrassing to say that, but I got really good at removing backgrounds in Mac Preview, and I stuck with that for years. Um, that's a great tool that I can just do it in like 2 seconds, and I don't have to be on my computer anymore. I can do it on my phone, and so there's great applications for AI. I just don't think it's going to be, for the most part, like Chris said, there will be some people that figure it out, but for the most part, it's probably not going to be creating amazing works of art that are tangible, right? Versus like a printed out print, maybe, or something like that. But it's probably not there. I mean, I guess maybe at this point they'll use AI to create 3D models, right? At some point they'll probably do that. And I guess you could print it
I
out
saw
and you could have a toy.
I saw this comedian make a pretty good comment on AI. He's like, I thought that when AI came out, like it would be doing like the grunt work jobs, like packing the boxes at Amazon, like, and then we'd have all this free time to paint and like do all the creative things. But now like AI is doing all the painting, and you still got these guys working like 60 hours a week at Amazon. Well, that's a good
No,
point.
I mean, it's definitely going to change things in like finances and financial sectors and things like, people, they've probably already used in like machine, stuff like that. But I'm sure it's going to change some of that aspect of like people crunching numbers and like running, spreadsheets and different things. I'm sure they're going to figure out ways to speed up that process and do away with jobs, right?
Yeah.
Because, if there's one thing that's for sure, corporate America will figure out ways to get rid of people's jobs.
Yep.
And any tool they can use to do that, they will figure it out. So
I'm fine with replacing my accountant.
I would love to.
TurboTax.
I would love to replace myself and then like just still get the money, right? How do I figure out a way to replace myself and still have a good business and everything myself? So, but so AI, that was a big topic of the last year. So I felt that would be something we could talk about. You got something?
I was
You're raising your hand.
Yeah, excuse me. It kind of like a little bit goes along with like we said, NFTs and AI, but I think Kazakh was a big proponent of NFTs. I don't know what his stance on was AI, but he's someone that we lost last year.
Yeah. Sadly, we lost a number of people in the designer toy world last year. Kozik being probably the most noted or notable or person that it affected, as far as like everybody knew what was going on. It was very sad news. We also lost Brian Ewing, who's very close to UVD. Obviously, he was a good friend of mine. And then we lost Task One as well. And that was the three that I was aware of. If there's any others,
just last week was Shifa.
Yeah. So 2023 was rough on the designer toy scene as far as deaths and and just art in general. We lost a lot of people that were pillars or early people into the community. And a lot of people really looked up to him and admired him, and it really it's kind of a downer year as far as that kind of stuff was concerned. Frank obviously was a large part of the start of the scene, and his presence never left it, as he kind of slowed down making his own original toys and whatnot, but he was still, directing at Kid Robot, and still had a really good pulse on, what was going on, as far as what to make and all that kind of stuff. So it was a big blow, obviously.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw the the memorial labbits that I guess they got the original mold from Bounty Hunter, and they made these big resin ones. They're pretty cool. But
Yeah, those they were like clear, right? Did they actually come apart? I couldn't gather that from the photos.
No, they were solid.
Okay,
yeah,
because the original toy like lifted off.
Yeah, I believe one was double casted with like a skeleton inside. The other one was like smoky green waves.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, he was super nice when we had him on the podcast. You know, it was my first like long conversation, other than like in passing, like a hello kind of situation. So it was changed my perspective on what I thought he was all about. You know.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think he's one of those guys that his reputation loomed large around him, right? But yeah, he was always willing to talk with people, and no matter of your status within the scene and all that kind of stuff, he was willing to always communicate with you. I mean, one of urbanvinyldaily.com back in the day, one of our first interviews, like 2 months after we started, was with Frank. Like, it was a written interview. He took the time to actually like type back and give us all the information. But, we'd been around for like 2 months, and he took the time to answer our questions and send us photos and everything to go along with it. So, I mean, I think that kind of tells you that he was, willing to, take the time for somebody that just started,
Yeah.
So, Chris, I feel like it's your turn to have a topic.
I was just saying. So we
Who
have.
Do you know?
Did you prepare anything?
Let's make it extra sad.
So I was gonna say, we got robots taking over the world, and people who have passed away. All right, sounds good. So guess the year.
2023, man. It was rough. It was a rough year.
It is kind of funny that Robots Will Kill was not on the list. I don't know if that was done intentionally because they didn't want to admit to it.
They were like, we're not going to put Robots Will Kill on here.
It was so funny because when that list launched, I had so many people send it to me, and just with literally like the like a line that just said, "You called it," and I was like, well, nobody listened.
It was just interesting, like who was on it, who wasn't, like who made the list. Like, I mean, like I was looking through the list, I was like, I don't even know a lot of these people. And then like,
oh yeah,
it was just like, just a random person. It wasn't like, I mean, how did they even find them, right? Like,
well, once you're on the internet, you're everywhere. What?
Yeah.
Rob says you were never prepared. He had to do all the work.
Oh, really, Rob? Is that why our show is still on? Oh wait, it's not on anymore.
Hey, if Rob had the technology that we have right now, he might still be doing this because he wouldn't have to edit it.
He didn't even edit it. We just have GM edit it.
That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't have to edit it.
That's true. All right, never mind.
Because GM went away, and then there was no editing. Nobody to edit it anymore.
That's true. Has anybody heard from him? Jesus.
I see him online playing Apex all the time, but I don't really play that game anymore. So I haven't talked to him in like 2.5 years.
What is Apex?
It's like a drop-in shooting game.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Kind of like a Fortnite deal.
Okay. Topics I want to talk about. All right, so we covered the next project we're doing. We can't show the really cool one that we're really excited about.
Yeah, because we don't have like a physical one to hold.
Yeah. All right. How about Collected Con? Why don't we talk about Collected Con?
What is Collected Con?
That was a perfect segue. What is Collected Con? How do you want to describe Collected Con?
So Collected Con is the brainchild of Cory Kirby from Rotofugi, Chris, and myself, and it is going to be a new outlet for folks in the designer toy and art scene to come together in one space, collected, and showcase their wares to fans in the Chicago area. So it will be at Navy Pier in August of 2024, so later this year. And we're hoping to have some amazing vendors and lots of fans come in and, really just have a good time. We're still working through a lot of the details as we're kind of getting prepared and getting everything through. But we're hoping to have a lot of really awesome opportunities for fans to interact and, check out all the cool stuff. Kind of in the middle of the year between DesignerCon and 5 Points Fest. So it's we're in the middle of the country and the middle of the year. So we're in like kind of different times than everybody else. So hopefully, there's a lot of folks from the Midwest, whether it's artists, stores, or fans that are traveling out. So hopefully we can give you guys an option that's, a little closer and in a major city still that you can kind of check out, have all these, have all the fun inside the convention, but also do some cool stuff in the city while you're there. So
it's also half the trip for the California people that would go to New York and the New York people that would go to California.
Yeah. And Chicago itself just has a wonderful art scene that's just growing, leaps and bounds. So it'd be a great chance if you're in the city to check out a lot of murals and check out a lot of cool things that just happen to be going on at the same time. So we are excited to have folks come out and, throughout our goal this year is to continue to do this podcast on a regular basis, back to the old ways. And we're also hoping to talk about the show, talk about developments as it's coming. So if you're planning to go to CollectedCon, this is going to be a good place to get short little updates. We're going to try not to ram it down anybody's throat, but we will be featuring people likely that will be vending or a part of CollectedCon throughout this year as well.
We're going to try to get Kirby on the next one, right?
Yeah, either if we can fit it in the schedule or at some point here in the near future, obviously. So we haven't talked to Kirby and see what her schedule looks like, but we will try to get her on here shortly. So do either of you have something to say about CollectedCon? Because I did not have a prepared statement. I just made all that up as I was going.
It's going to be cool.
It's going to be rad.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. This year, actually, I have multiple projects going on in Chicago. It's kind of funny. It's like June. I'll be out there for a solo show with Rotofugi, and then another project. I think the following weekend, and then we'll be out there in August for the convention. I'm excited. The last time I was in Chicago, I didn't get to spend a lot of time there. I was kind of in and out. So definitely looking forward to checking it out. I mean, there's a ton of amazing artists, a ton of great galleries, a ton of murals. Just, it's a really, you can't, well, it's a creative city, so definitely looking forward to it.
You want to hear my pitch that I was given at DesignerCon trying to get vendors to sign up?
Okay. Sure. Elevator speech, go.
Because I'd ask, have you ever been to Chicago? And surprisingly, a lot of people have not been to Chicago. I guess not. That's my first visit was when we checked at the venue. But I'd be like, "You've been to New York, right?" And they're like, "Yeah." They're like, "Yeah, I've been to New York." I'm like, "Okay, imagine you're in New York. That there's no pee smell. There's not trash all over the ground. You don't see rats running around. There's not crazy people screaming on the sides of the roads. Everybody's nice Midwest people. They open the door for you. They say hello. They're very nice." So that's pretty much what Chicago's like. And you get all the art stuff like you have in New York.
Says the guy from Florida. I'm sorry, but you can't take anybody.
I don't run Florida. This is not my state. I don't own it.
New York. First off, New York doesn't have a pee smell. All right.
It's certainly Chinatown has a pee smell.
It's pee or weed. You have two options.
Cory, the reason that Florida doesn't have a state tax?
What is that?
They don't want to give you guys a say in how the state is run.
Yeah.
I thought it was because of the mouse, but
it probably is. But really, it's like if they don't have to pay taxes, then they don't get a say.
That was the vacation tax thing. So yeah.
So, but no, we're definitely excited for Collected Con, and we're excited to keep revealing more and more as we go throughout the year. If you are a prospective vendor, we are accepting vendor applications for review at this point. You can send that over to info@collectedcon.com, or go over to our website collectedcon.com and click the vendors area. There's a whole form that you can fill out. So either way you want to get in contact with us, we will do our best to get it reviewed and approved if we can, and get you all the information you need in order to actually sign up and become a vendor. Keep an eye out for ticket sale announcements. You can follow us at CollectedCon on Instagram, and we'll be making the announcements there. We also have a newsletter that you can sign up to via collectedcon.com. So if you are on the fence, we're telling you now that this is going to be cool. So don't miss out. We're giving you, I don't know, 6 months worth of advance or 7 months worth of advance. Someone just bought a flight and hotel. There we go. The Lostlings.
Nice.
There we go.
Lostlings will be there. We should get them on the podcast.
Look, right there they are. They've got a flight and a hotel. So we will be trying to get some more hotel information out there too. We've had a couple of questions about that, so we're working on pulling those details together.
I did make a list of hotels on the website. I gave a super convenient close option, somewhat close option, and then a little bit further and cheaper, but pretty close to Rotofugi option.
Yeah. So,
speaking of which, we the three of us how is this working? Are you guys? We're not splitting a room. What are we doing? We're gonna have to figure that out, right?
Oh yeah,
I thought we were just sleeping at Rotofugi.
Oh, is that what it is? All right, I'm cool with me.
We'll just take over JC's studio.
Been down there.
We can sleep on the couch at JC's studios. He only has one small couch at the studio. It's not going to be big enough for all of us. But big enough if we all brought air mattresses, definitely, but not for that couch. So,
is Shane getting a booth?
I don't. Well, you know what? He'll be out of school. I can ask
Craig's Adventure.
Yes, Craig's Adventure.
That'd be cool. Or maybe he could DJ an after party.
Oh, that would be cool. Yeah, I could ask him. He'd be down. He'd be down for that.
Yeah, we're still working on VIP details, but there was talk of maybe a VIP thing at Rotofugi, so he could DJ there.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds good.
None of that's been confirmed. We will have further details later.
What else to talk about? Who won Toy of the Year last year?
This last year? This past year at DT, the DTAs at 5 points? They didn't do them. There was no DTA.
What about the year prior?
Still no DTA. Well, wait, was there? In the fall?
Are you forgetting what year it was? Come on.
Yeah, there was
one. The last one there was one.
There was one at the fall, right? But it was for 2020 and for 2020, I think, 2019. Whenever the Cub was up, that was the last one, which would have been 2019 releases. But yeah, so it's been a while. So
okay.
I mean, I think
I got the thing to submit applications, but I never saw who won.
I mean, the Toy of the Year obviously was Chris's robot for last year.
100%, 15-inch tall robot. Boom.
And the year before that, it was Sexy Ronald.
You're just gonna put your toys in there? What do I got? What about Uncle's Favorite? Uncle's Favorite could get the year prior.
Absolutely. You know how many people I get asking me for them still?
This thing sold out fast.
Yeah, they think I have a hoarding them somewhere. I have an endless supply of them.
Come on, let me get one.
When are you gonna do the Batfleck?
Yeah. Well, it's so funny. People will they be they'll ask me what do I have available? So I send them, I usually send them you guys' sites, some other galleries I have working, and then they'll always send back a picture of the Uncle's Favorite and be like, "Is this available?" It says sold out right there. How is it available? I don't know.
It's probably available on one of the 2 duplicate scam sites of Strange Cat. Then StrangeCatToys.shop. There's all these old long sold out toys for like $10 each. Every now and then we'll get an email from people that are like, "Hey, you never shipped my thing," and I'm like, "Oh, you fucking got scammed because it's not our website."
Yeah, I mean you got to be careful at this point, right? There's a lot of those fake sites out there. So you
Well,
really got to
If
pay
it
attention
looks
to what
too
you
good
do.
to be true, it's too good to be true.
Listen, I just had to cancel my card this right before I got on the phone with you. I got on the show with you guys because I had
You
fraud
bought
on
shit
my.
on the website?
Yeah, I bought shit on
I couldn't figure out why my stuff was so cheap, so I bought it all.
not so strange cat UVD toys unlimited.com super happy fun hour. No,
Sounds legit.
no, I out of nowhere I get home and there's a box and I'm looking. I'm like, what the hell is this? I didn't order anything. And at first I thought it was what you sent me, but I'm like, that was way too fast. And I'm looking at the box and Melissa's like, what is this? And I look, I'm like, this is Me Undies. I'm like, what the fuck? Now I know MeUndies sponsors every single podcast out there, so I don't want to talk shit about them. But
hey, if you guys sponsor us, we can do some reviews on me.
believe me, after what I just saw that they charged $350 for, get the fuck out of here.
So wait, so they used your card.
So that's the thing.
They sent it to you?
They sent it to you?
So that's what
this
they
is like
do.
the worst criminal in history.
What's the point of that?
Well, it's happened to me a few times on Amazon too, where out of nowhere I'll get like a package and it'll be like this tiny little like twice they sent me like a dragonfly brooch. That was like I was like, what the fuck is this? And there's a receipt in the thing or whatever. It was like $1.99. So basically, what they do is they do that, and then if they get away with it and it gets delivered, then they just try to bang out your card as fast as they can, and so you cancel.
How many times has this happened to you?
What year is that?
Yeah, he's in New York, so it's a lot more common for people to
steal
credit card.
Yeah,
you don't think you're just like not getting enough sleep, and then like you're late, sleepy, painting stupor. You're like ordering $300 worth of undies.
Yeah. I ordered a $350 subscription to Me Undies, and they were the ugliest things. I'm like, it wasn't even anything cool. I'm like, maybe I would have, but nah. So I had to cancel all that and do that all.
I have a good story of this. So Jenny ordered something for her mom, and so she used her like Amazon credit card or whatever. And when you do that, it like adds it to your account or whatever, right? So Jenny's mom was complaining on the phone, like, man, I got all these charges on my card. Like, I can't figure out what's going on with these. Like, I didn't order any of this stuff. And Jenny's like, yeah, and I don't know what you're talking about. I'm looking on the bill. You owe all this money or whatever, but I don't know where all this stuff is. And then she starts looking through the list, and she's like, wait, I ordered that. Wait, I ordered that. So
Nice.
her mom had already called Amazon and like canceled the card and everything.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so the criminal was just her daughter. It wasn't an actual.
I think Rob wants to be another co-host because he said
that we.
How about JC's commercial?
Oh, JC's commercial. Yeah, that's right. So JC Rivera, he was in Boost Mobile, so congrats on that. They filmed an amazing, like it was like a music video. I went to the filming. They had, everything set up. They had it like they cast like a young JC to tell his story of his life, coming from Puerto Rico, coming to America, learning English, going through the whole process of teaching himself how to use like the computer tools and everything to create art, and then building a character and a brand, and kind of taking it across the country and around the globe. And they did all that in like a 30-second commercial. The quality was like super high on it. Boost Mobile did an amazing job working with the folks at I believe the company was named High Dive that did the actual like filming and everything. But they had him do the commercial. They had him do a giant mural within the city of Chicago. It was a really cool opportunity for him, and it was really cool to see an artist that we work with and support get that shine at a national level. I mean, people were sending it to me like left and right, like, oh my God, this is so awesome. That's that bear you work with, like people that had no clue what it was, like people I went to high school with and stuff that see it on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. It was really cool to see it. I mean, it was literally like in football games, like in the middle, they would show it, or like on, Hulu would pop up for people. It was really cool to see somebody that we know and support getting that kind of exposure. So
Did he get like a free year subscription or a booster or anything like that?
No, he did not get that, but they did give him a free phone.
Oh, okay.
So it was like a prepaid mobile kind of thing. So you just buy the minutes or whatever. But
yeah. Burner phone.
It's funny. Like when you work for certain companies, you would think they would do that, like give you a lifetime subscription for things. Nope. It's like they just don't even acknowledge it.
Isn't that like it's Pixar that Disney owns, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess they don't get the free memberships. They get like a 1-day pass for free as Disney and Pixar employees.
What, for the parks or for
the parks, yeah.
Really?
Well, it's because they were originally owned by Steve Jobs. They were like, you don't get anything extra.
That was like fucking forever ago. Come on, Bob.
But no, so hopefully, I mean, hopefully hopefully it did well for them, and hopefully that means that down the road maybe they continue to do these cool commercials. I don't know if you remember back in like the early 2000s, they used to do a lot more. Like they usually had like a celebrity, like Travis Barker was one of them. I know there was multiple other, like I think Ludacris and maybe like Kanye was in one. But like they were like kind of like cool commercials that had like cool subjects and that kind of stuff. And they kind of moved away from that and went more into like just get a phone, like kind of like commercial.
Yeah.
Ooh, the new phone's out, get a phone.
I just saw Melissa McCarthy in a Priceline commercial.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if that's the same.
So like it went away and now they're trying to kind of get back into that. So hopefully it keeps, working for them and they keep reaching out to more people, whether it's, artists or musicians or whoever, because they had like a pro skater. They did 3 commercials. One was a pro skater, one was JC, and one was a rapper from Atlanta. And they were like, they were telling their stories. So it's pretty cool that they are kind of going that route. So hopefully it worked out and they continue down that route. And hopefully we see more people that we know pop up in those commercials.
Mm-hmm.
So
Chris will be on the next AI generated art commercial.
I told you 20 years ago that robots would kill, and here we are.
Yep. Get me on, what is it? Mint Mobile. Get me on Mint Mobile. I could be in Deadpool 3.
I saw a new Mint Mobile commercial. It's like everybody else is going up for inflation. We're cutting it in half. And they say they're cutting their prices in half or whatever. Well, that's an interesting technique. It may work or it may put you out of business. I don't know what.
I think he's set. Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see the Red Lobster? They lost like $6 million or something.
11 million. What are you talking about? $11 million. Because
all that was because Cory went and ate all the shrimp at Red Lobster.
I do not eat at Red Lobster. No, thank you.
Well, now that you can get all you can eat shrimp, you should. You can contribute to their losses.
So. I did see that Walmart just got sued by Vans over copyright infringement.
Well, they have a ton of shoes that are literally just like they look exactly like other shoes. So the only ones that they make like original, I think, at this point are like the Shaq ones, like the Walmart Shaq shoes.
Oh, jeez.
So,
talk about a smart businessman. That guy. Ooh, he owns so much stuff.
Yeah.
Shaq.
He's like, I could have shoes that they're like $150, $200, or I could have shoes that are available for $20 at like 50 million stores.
Well, yeah, but he also owns like multiple Papa John's. He owns like
Papa John's. I forget, it's like Wings. Is it Wingstop? No, that's Rick Ross owns the Wingstops. I forget which one. Well, he owns a bunch of different restaurants though. Shaq does.
Yeah.
Five Guys. He owns a bunch of Five Guys.
Five Guys. He invested in a bunch of other like companies and stuff like that. He really is like setting up his family just to be good.
Yeah. I mean, he loves to tell that story about his first $1 million check and how he spent it all in like a day.
Yep.
And then his financial manager's like, you owe taxes, right? And he's like, what? So I guess he learned his lesson early on.
Yeah. He's good.
You got to pay taxes, right? So, Anybody got anything else they want to talk about? We are officially over the 1 hour mark. And we kind of feel like we're lingering here. So I'm trying to decide if we continue lingering or if we talk about a topic or if we wrap this show up. So
I say let's wrap it up and leave them wanting more.
Yeah. We got to have something to talk about next week.
Yeah. We need that thing from the Chappelle show, the wrap it up.
Yeah. I should just go back to the original podcast, get the audio of me saying the same thing every time. And then like make a little video that's like, like I could just hit play on.
That audio cut was always so funny because it was like almost immediate after somebody was talking, like you were cutting them off. You're like, all right, that's enough. It's time to end the fucking show.
Yeah.
So for the people that are listening, there are still a number of people on here. I guess give us, if you have any like questions or anything you want us to answer, now's the time. Because we are going to try to wrap it up here. Cory,
hey, since you put this live in the Instagram, you'll be able to post it as a post or no?
I don't know. I assume so.
Okay, cool.
Well,
I don't know if
rewatch the whole video.
I assume so, because like you can do a live, like if you do a live on Instagram, you can just post it, right? Yeah. So I assume people can just watch it.
Nice little new feature.
I personally wouldn't choose to watch it that way, but
YouTube, yeah, probably a little easier.
Yeah, but I guess if people really love Instagram and want to keep their phone running for an hour, that might be a good place for them to do that. Mm-hmm. Or if they just want to listen to the audio, it will be over on our iTunes. I'll export it and put it over there as just the audio. We haven't really executed the video aspect of it so much just yet. Yeah, we did show you like the prototypes and stuff. So it isn't going to be like a total loss as a podcast if you try to watch it just because we moved the video. So we will try not to be like, look at what we're looking at on the screen, or we'll try not to do that a lot.
The video is pretty good. You watch Chris paint for an hour.
Yeah.
It's soothing. It's like Bob Ross.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like I could just make Chris like I could make Chris like the big one, right? And then me and Cory just over here. Like, look at that. Maybe next week we'll do it like that.
There you go.
So, but with that, I'm not seeing any questions. You got anything over there on the Instagram live questions or anything?
Rob said no, I'm good. I think that was to him being another co-host.
Is Rob coming out to Chicago to host things?
We are gonna need an MC.
Yeah,
Rob, are you gonna come to Chicago? We'll give you a bullhorn.
He doesn't need one.
Hey, I know you don't need one, but we're gonna give you one anyway. He might be gone now. I don't know.
Yeah. But we'll go ahead.
Of course.
Okay, never mind. He's still here. Okay, but with that, we will go ahead and start to wrap this show up. So if you guys want to take a second to tell everyone where they can find you, we'll start with Chris.
You can find me at ChrisRWK or at Robots Will Kill and all the social medias. Stole that.
Hey. You can find me at Strange Cat Toys on all the social medias, and all of us now at Collected Con on the social medias.
And you can find me at UBD Toys on all social media or ubdtoys.com. But this has been the Urban Robot Cat Podcast, the show about art and the people who make it.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we are unlived on both Instagram and
YouTube.
The Instagram. The StreamYard, sorry. But so I just clicked end live to download your video, view this archive on the Instagram app. Okay. So you can't just put it straight from the desktop version. So let's go see here. Where's the archive? Oh, there we go. Where does it go?
It still says we're live on here, but maybe that timer just keeps going. Yeah, see? Lost Thing says I could still see you. We are still live.
Why does it say
Good
we're
thing I
done?
didn't start shit talking.
Yeah, I was gonna say good thing